Let's move on and talk about contacts. There are two different ways that you can get to your Google contacts. The first way is to click here next to Mail and choose Contacts. You can also use the black navigation bar at the top. I'll know that I'm in Contacts because Contacts is now highlighted in the black bar, and it now says Contacts on the left-hand side. The first thing I want for you to look at is our directory. If I click on Directory, this takes me to an entire list of everybody in our domain. So this is adults and students. So I can search for a particular user just by typing in their name and hitting enter. This takes me to their profile page and shows me what their email address is. Now if I were to choose a name that had multiple people associated with that name, it would pull up a list of people who have that name. And then you could easily scroll through, or if you wanted to perform an action with that email address, you could select the ones that you wanted to perform that action for. Sometimes it's necessary to add a contact that is not part of our organization, somebody who's not a Brenham ISD employee. To do that, you would click on the big red New Contact button over here on the left-hand side. When you click on that, it brings up this screen where you can insert as much information as you want to about that contact. When you click on Add to My Contacts, that person automatically shows up in your contacts area. Some of you have also asked about setting up groups so that you can easily email your team or your department or your grade level. To do that, you're going to click on this button that says New Group. And when you do that, it asks you to enter a new group name. So if I wanted to set up a group for the middle school administrators, I create a name and click on OK, and now that group shows up on the left-hand side. To add members to that admin group, if I just go to that admin group right now, there are currently no contacts here. If I click here, this is going to try to add members from my contacts. All of the Brenham ISD people are not in my contacts, so the best way to add Brenham ISD employees to a group is to go through the directory. So I've created my BMS admin group. Now I'm going to go back to my directory, and I'm going to search for Peggy Still. I'm going to make sure that I choose her domain account, her brenhamk-12.net. I certainly don't want to use brenhamisd.net because that's about to be an invalid email address. So I click Peggy's name, and you'll notice that you get the little groups button. So I'm going to click on that group, and I'm going to add her to my BMS admin group. And you notice now there's a little 1 next to my group that shows I've added somebody to that group. So now I'm going to search for Mary Gold. There she is. I'm going to add her to BMS admin. And I'm also going to search for Larry Hughes. Now, if there's only one email address associated with that profile, it will take you directly to that person's profile page. From here, you just click on the groups button above their name and add them to the group that you prefer. Now, on the mail side, how this looks, if I wanted to now email my BMS admin group, when I go back into my mailbox and I click on Compose, I can start typing in BMS, and the first one on the list is the group that I just created. Now, be very careful. All of these down here, if they have an email address associated with them, they were set up at the domain level. So you don't want to send them to any of these because that's not going to be the group that you created. You want to look for the one that says group. So when I click on BMS admin, you see that it inserts all of their email addresses into the to field, and now I'm ready to send my email.